next upload for the 27th of the 2nd, 2020 is with regard to fellowship, sobriety and sanity. As I've shared in all my uploads and as people are fully aware, there's been issues surrounding sexual assault and revenge porn in the past. My recovery in sobriety began in 2006, and as I've mentioned in previous uploads, that recovery was very successful, and there were many rewards reaped in that recovery, and many gifts in that recovery that I'm still very grateful for. As I've mentioned, I gave birth in 2015 and I was married in 2015, and especially since 2017, a lot of my hard work has been disrespected and discredited and disregarded, and it's been very insulting that from the work of sobriety and from the work and studies of addiction and addictive behaviour and personal development and all that, I studied that people in recent times in this vendetta of hate crime have insulted not only my competencies, but my capabilities, and also my work with others. As I've said also, there's been like the involvement in harassment and intrusion and violations and breaches of confidentiality with regard to mental health services. This is also serious, but as a teacher, to have had so much of my hard work disrespected by individuals that didn't have the good fortune, obviously, to be able to engage properly and actually, be in a position to make such comments. The opposite is true of what has been claimed. I've mentioned that there's been a lot of defamation about me, a lot of it unsubstantiated, and as well as that, at one stage my intellectual capabilities were also insulted. So this issue of claimants saying things that are unsubstantiated, that aren't accurate, that are incorrect, is a part of this vendetta of hate crime that is just absolutely stupefying. It's shocking that people would take so many liberties to not just defame a person, as I've been defamed since 2006, but to have recently experienced the defamation and violations that I'm experiencing as a member of sobriety and the fellowship and whatnot. I find it quite shocking, but this, as I've said in my previous upload, this situation hasn't been improving simply because of individuals that are obstructing and preventing me from attaining my rights being respected. So, for a person, an adult, a professional educator, a person with a clean record and clean conscience and clean hands, it's shocking that a person, a victim, a survivor, would be in this position, and that ombudsmen, that politicians, authorities would not be acknowledging how serious a situation has been caused for human rights. So my journey in 2006 began in recovery and the fellowship due to the previous assault that I experienced in this town, and that included defamation also. But in recent times, this is becoming a human rights objective, but not just for myself, but also for others that have been victimized and violated and wrongly vindicated. And I sincerely hope that those in sobriety and recovery, as frightening the situation has been caused with so much defamation and so many violations, I hope that people in sobriety understand these circumstances, and I hope that people in the judicial system and in the state agencies understand the gifts and blessings that have been damaged because this has been a spiritual assault as well. And for a teacher to be experiencing this without the supports that I'm entitled to, um, it would leave any member of the fellowship disillusioned. The fact that this is only from 2006 to the present date that I'm referring to is only one matter, but as a person that's been working since nearly over 20 years in this town and abroad, to be in this condition without the medical treatment that I require, without the social welfare protection and whatnot that I'm entitled to, it just goes to show how many serious violations have been perpetrated. So, as I've said, as a deserted wife of a property owner that has worked very hard and that is currently suffering physical ailments as a consequence of that hard work, that has been unpaid, that has been voluntary, that has been done in the best faith with the best intentions, people have been highly disrespectful. And I think that's the biggest concern today, for me as a victim and survivor, but also as an invalid of professionals' medical incompetence and the violations that have been perpetrated, as well as that medical incompetence. So it's shocking that there's anyone without any consideration of how serious this is. Members of the fellowship, I hope you understand. I hope you know the position I've been put in. I hope you understand how serious the offences are that have been perpetrated, and I hope you realise how serious an obstruction has been caused, and how serious the defamation also about me that has been claimed publicly, privately, and secretly, without actually confronting me or consulting me. So that's my second upload for the fellowship, to basically understand that there's been a lot of lies and there's been a lot of injustice, and basically my hard work hasn't gone to waste completely, but it just so seems that there are individuals that have no respect, and that's not my shame. It's not anyone else's shame except the culprits that haven't got the courtesy to respect another woman's work and efforts in recovery and in society and in any capacity as a teacher, as a volunteer worker, whatever. But that's how serious the disrespect has been in this situation. And for women's rights to be so severely disrespected doesn't say much for the culprits, doesn't say much about the culprits, but says a lot about society if it's tolerated. And for me to be experiencing this since I gave birth in 2015, to be tolerating this kind of injustice and defamation and abuse is horrendous, horrendous, horrendous. So for the female politicians, as I keep reiterating, this circumstance hasn't changed. As any other woman, I have marital rights, I have legal rights, I have medical rights, I have financial rights, and there are individuals intruding and making decisions that they're not in a position or in any authority either to be making about me and my livelihood and my purpose. Because as I've said, the spiritual violence that has already been perpetrated was pretty bad, and physically to be untreated and to be harassed with defamatory claims about mental health just shows how serious this all is. So this is a message for the fellowship, and I just hope that the members of Recovery and Sanity and Sobriety, relapsing and slipping and on the steady road or not, understand the journey that I've been put on with the detour in the past 2 or 3 years. So that's my upload, and I hope that clarifies the situation a bit better for people, because there's been a lot of misconstrued claims, unsubstantiated, and a lot of misinterpretation and a lot of disinformation. So this is for the fellowship, live and let live, and all that goes with that. And wishing you the best, because there's been a pretty horrendous circumstance caused in Tralee, County Kerry, and for those in recovery and staying steady in sobriety, wish you the best of luck.